João Gomes is a player who had flown under my radar until now. If you'd asked me in the summer how I rate him, I probably would have compared him to Douglas Luiz prior to him leaving Villa for Juventus, being a consistently reliable, multifunctional Premier League level central midfielder who can do a lot but doesn't specialise in key areas, a starter for maybe a 10th to 7th place Premier League team, but not someone who I thought would be able to consistently hold down a starting position at a Champions League level Premier League club. However, watching him this season and analysing him in greater detail, both from the eye test but also statistically, as you're going to see towards the end of the video, I think in terms of current ability, I think I would elevate João Gomes ahead of the likes of Douglas Luiz and Andre, putting him slightly below but still on the same level as the likes of Elliot Anderson, Baleba, Lamine Camara and Kepran Thuram. But what exactly have I noticed about João Gomes' game that has altered my opinion on him? Well, that brings us on to the three main questions I'm going to be answering in this video. First of all, what are the stylistic and quality level similarities and differences between João Gomes and United's current options of Casemiro, Mainoo and Ugarte? Secondly, considering that statistically his ball carrying output is far superior to his progressive passing, should this be considered a weakness in his game, or is it just being stifled by the fact that he's playing for the worst team in the league? And thirdly, for which metric would a 15 to 20 point percentile gain result in the most significant increase to his overall performance level in all thirds of the pitch? But before I break down all of that, if you want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to okjersey.com. They've got the new season Manchester United shirts for this season, as well as for pretty much all of the big clubs across world football, including iconic shirts such as this Real Madrid 0102 Zinedine Zidane shirt from the season where Real Madrid won the Champions League against Bayer Leverkusen at Hampden Park, with Zinedine Zidane scoring the winning goal, which alongside Gareth Bale's overhead kick against Liverpool a few years ago, will surely go down as one of, if not the best Champions League goal of all time. If you spend over $50, you'll get free shipping, and if you use code Atlantis at checkout, you'll also get a discount as well, so I'll leave it linked in the description and in the comments section below. Now, in regards to whether João Gomes should be a priority signing for United in January, I'm going to be answering that over the next few videos, because the answer depends on a variety of different variables, from the valuation and availability of other central midfielders both in January and in the summer, whether one, two or all three of Mainoo, Casemiro and Ugarte are allowed to leave in 2026 in order to raise funds for reinvestment, as well as the stylistic profiles of one or even two other central midfielders that could also be brought in alongside Gomes. But in this video I'm going to solely focus the analysis on João Gomes individually, so how good is he actually and what is his stylistic profile? Well, in short, in terms of his current ability, I would say that he's an upgrade on all three of Mainoo, Ugarte and Casemiro, being a stylistic blend of all three. In comparison to Walton, Baleba and Anderson, I don't think at this point in time you'd say Gomes is as good as those three, but he certainly isn't far off. Probably just below Anderson and Baleba despite being on the same level. And whilst I do think there is a greater distance in terms of current ability when compared to Walton, with the Crystal Palace man in my opinion being the best of the four, which was an opinion that I have adjusted since the summer. However, I don't think that Walton is worth double the price of Gomes, with the Brazilian likely costing between 42 to about £45 million up front in January, maybe just over 50 with add-ons, and considering it does look like Wolves will be relegated at the end of the season, Gomes could be available in the summer for just £35 million. And that's because for the sort of price that United would have to pay for Walton or even Baleba and Anderson as well, they could bring in two central midfielders, with one of them being Gomes, thereby allowing us to use any funds raised from selling Mainoo and or Ugarte on other positions, targeting premium options like Bastoni at left-sided centre-back, or Semenyo as a left wing-back who could also play as an interior forward as well. Now, when describing João Gomes stylistically, I would say that his optimal tactical role would be as what I would describe as a carrying ball winner, but you could also describe it as a box-to-box central midfielder as well. And you can see why I describe him as this, as when we compare him to other midfielders in the top 7 leagues last season, you can see that he ranks incredibly highly for his ball winning metrics, sitting around the low to mid 90th percentile mark, with his ball carrying output slightly lower around the 75th to 80th range, which is still impressive. And these abilities are also reflected in the eye test as well, with Gomes not only being elegant, reliable and efficient in possession, as seen with his dribbling and pass retention rates, but also being a high volume front foot ball winner, being excellent when he has to push up vertically to apply pressure to the back of an opposition player receiving the ball, wherefrom he's able to almost stalk his target like prey, before snapping in with a firm standing or ground challenge in order to force a turnover. Ball progression via carries, press resistance and reliable retention in possession, combined with ball winning ability without it, is exactly the style of central midfielder that Manchester United need, particularly to partner Bruno Fernandes when he is used in the midfield double pivot, as he currently is now. João Gomes is already producing elite level ball winning output, and I think he will likely jump to a similar level with his ball carrying output as well, maybe within the first 6 to 12 months of making a move to a top side, given the disparity in team possession quality that João Gomes currently functions in with Wolves, compared with one of the bigger clubs such as Manchester United. However, there are some parts of João Gomes' game that he does need to improve, as like Mainoo, despite from the eye test clearly having high level progressive passing qualities within his skill set, the volume per 90 in output over the course of a full season that he's producing isn't quite at the level needed just yet, with his progressive passing output being just around a quarter to a third of what his ball carrying output was last season, showing that when it does come to João Gomes' ball progression, he does have a dependence on his carrying as opposed to his passing. Gomes certainly has elite level passes in his locker, and I expect this part of his game to improve significantly, both naturally and with a move to a more possession dominant side. However, despite my expectation of improvement, even at Manchester United, I don't see Gomes' creative and progressive passing developing to the level of the likes of Walton, Kamara, Stiller or Anderson, whether it's incisive line breaking passes through the centre, neatly threaded through balls to release runners in behind or long switches of play. I just think that when it comes to all four of those alternative options, they're a level above what Gomes can do from a deeper line playmaker type of position, although when watching him play, it is obvious that he does have the sort of vision, timing and execution with his short passing interplay, as well as when it comes to more creative and progressive passes as well, that suggests to me that unlike a Stiller, Kamara or a Walton, Gomes' skill set isn't optimal to playing as a regista as the main creator from deeper positions. Instead, I think he's more of a metronome, having the potential within the next 12 to 18 months to be used in a similar type of role to the one that we've seen Pep use Tijani Reinders in, still being highly focused on his ball carrying but now having greater responsibility for dictating the tempo of play, keeping circulation efficient and driving the attack beyond the midfield line when the opportunity is there to do so. In the build-up phase, Gomes would certainly be an improvement on Ugarte and Casemiro, being as good as Mainoo when it comes to receiving the ball under pressure with his back to goal, twisting and turning away from the pressing player, before then being able to drive forward into the open space or link play with short passing interplay, improving United's ability to play through the centre of the press or down the channels. But this press resistance, ball carrying and ability to operate in congested areas allows him to be just as effective in the middle third either from settled possession or during transitional situations, and combine this with his high level ball winning output, combined with him having superior agility and speed across the ground when compared to Casemiro, and you can definitely understand why João Gomes is a target for United in 2026. Now in follow-up videos I am going to go into greater tactical detail about how João Gomes could function in United's system alongside Bruno Fernandes or another central midfield signing that United make in the summer, so if you are interested in that, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you want to check out any cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to okjersey.com. You can use code Atlantis at checkout for a discount. I'll leave a link in the description and in the comment section below, and I'll leave some other videos linked on the end screen now as well.